A nation reveals itself not only by the men it produces, but also by the men it honors, by the men it remembers. We come to honor a man whose contribution was not to our size, but to our spirit, not to our political beliefs, but to our insight, not to our self-esteem, but to our self-comprehension. To make it possible for Americans of all different races and creeds to live together in harmony, to make it possible for a world to exist in diversity and freedom. All this requires the best of us. Our nation reveals itself not only by the men it produces, but also by the men it honors, the men it remembers. But the men who question power make a contribution just as indispensable, for they determine whether we use power or power uses us. I have been, Robert Frost wrote, one acquainted with the night, because he knew the midnight as well as the high noon, because he knew the ordeal as well as the triumph of the human spirit. He gave his aged strength with which to overcome despair. When power leads men toward arrogance, poetry reminds him of his limitations. When power limits the areas of man's concern, poetry reminds him of the richness and diversity of his existence. When power corrupts, poetry cleanses. The artist, however faithful to his personal vision of reality, becomes the last champion of the individual mind and sensibility against an intrusive society and an officious state. The great artist is thus a solitary figure. He has, as Robert Frost said, a lover's quarrel with the world. In pursuing his perceptions of reality, he must often sail against the currents of his time. If sometimes our great artists have been the most critical of our society, it is because their sensitivity and their concern for justice, which must motivate any true artist, makes him aware that our nation falls short of its highest potential. I see little of more importance to the future of our country and our civilization than the full recognition of the place of the artist. If art is to nourish the roots of our culture, society must set the artist free to follow his vision wherever it takes him. But democratic society, in it, the highest duty of the writer, the composer, the artist, is to remain true to himself and let the chips fall where they may. In serving his vision of the truth, the artist serves his nation, and a nation which disdains the mission of art invites the fate of Robert Frost's hired man, having nothing to look backward to with pride, and nothing to look forward to with hope. I look forward to a great future for America, a future in which our country will match its military strength with our moral restraint, its wealth with our wisdom, its power with our purpose. I look forward to an America which will not be afraid of grace and beauty, will protect the natural environment, reward achievement in the arts as we reward business or statecraft, to raise the standards of artistic accomplishment and enlarge cultural opportunities for all our citizens. And I look forward to an America which will command respect throughout the world, not only for its strength, but for its civilization as well. And I look forward to an America which will not only be safe for democracy and diversity, but for personal distinction.